Well, good morning. It's Thursday, March 12th. It is Journal 298, T+338. It's hard to live in times of great stress or great change without drawing upon the lessons of past history to help you navigate uh, through to a successful outcome, a desired outcome. You've got to go ahead and take the lessons of the past and project them into the future. I think that's part of what we do as human beings to help us, at least understand as best we're capable what's going on. At least that's what I found myself doing over the last number of weeks as this global pandemic and coronavirus has unfolded, trying to get a handle on the impact it's going to have around the globe and certainly here in the United States, in neighborhoods like yours or mine, and and what those implications are. The only thing that I can tell you is that having been through two energy crises, two gas crises in 73 and 79 in the service station business, dealing with long lines and the way we as a species react to that kind of stress um, was an eye-opening experience. And they were very different, by the way. Um, for some of you with whom we've had this conversation before, you'll recognize my position on this. But in 73, everybody really believed that there was a fuel crisis, and people were much better behaved, more civil, more understanding, more compliant in many ways. In 79, nobody believed that it was real. Everybody believed that it was contrived, and people had a lot less patience, and their behavior was a lot more troublesome. And my take on it then was that if that crisis had been uh, founded on the lack of bread or milk, and firefighters and police had a choice between taking care of their families and taking care of the society in general, while many of them, to their credit, would take care of the society, uh, many of them would still be hard pressed not to take care of their families first. If you look back on the Ebola crisis, which wasn't all that long ago, there was a lot of anxiety, but realistically, it didn't really impact the majority of people in our country and even around the world to the extent that coronavirus and COVID-19 have. And that's difficult because I'm not sure that we have a roadmap to go by in order to go ahead and navigate this properly. But the one thing that I am certain of is that there are three components that are at work here, and we've got to have a profound understanding and respect for them. One is history. What do the lessons of the past teach us that we can take into the future and use? The other two are really simple and yet not so simple. One of them is the idea of anticipation based upon the knowledge we have about things that have happened in the past. We can anticipate the way things are going to move in the future, at least to some degree. Perhaps not completely, but at least to some degree. Um, and the other is preparation. We can be prepared. We can do whatever we have to do as leaders, as managers, as parents, as children, as brothers and sisters, um, to take care of one another and to ensure as much as possible that we've done everything that we can to contain this epidemic, this pandemic, as much as possible. There are plenty of opportunities to do that out there. There are plenty of resources that have been brought to bear to help us understand what it is we need to do as individuals. We need to stay away from large groups of people. We need to go ahead and hunker down inside our homes. We need to have enough food. It doesn't necessarily mean food that you would necessarily choose to eat under normal circumstances, but choose it instead food that you have to, that's nutritious enough to keep you whole until things normalize. What we do know about what's going on right now is that it's not likely to stop anytime soon. It's not likely to clear itself up anytime soon. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't think you need to have a crystal ball to recognize that. I don't think you have to be a genius. I don't think you have to be a public health official. I don't think, all you need to do is pay attention to what's happening in the rest of the world and what's happening here, recognizing that so few of our population have been tested, so we don't even have a handle on how many people are infected, other than to make that great leap of faith and that assumption that it's more than we think, to understand that this is not some kind of a great cosmic joke and that we have to really pay attention to what's going on and anticipate and prepare for what's coming. Because what we do know is that both socially, culturally, economically, this is going to be incredibly disruptive. And as Helen DeGeneres want to say, we need to be kind to one another. We need to take care of one another. We need to be concerned about ourselves, our neighbors, our communities, and our country, and that goes beyond politics. So I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that from me as time unfolds and as this crisis becomes more apparent as we learn more about it. I think it's something that's really important for us to talk about remotely, in person. Well, as long as you're 2 yards away from the closest person to you. This is especially troublesome to me, and especially meaningful to me, based upon the fact that I have no immune system, and going out into the world is not an option for me. Aside from the fact that it's just terrifying, realistically, it's just not prudent, and I've got to go ahead and work on it from there. Especially with my numbers down from the last visit and having to wait until the 23rd, until Monday, March 23rd, to go back to City of Hope and to see the doc. So in the meantime, stay well, take care, and that takes on a whole new meaning under the circumstances. That's it for now.